Mine is in the fridge.
All right, so we are going ahead and recording, we have a lot of participants today. So we're going to start with everybody turning off your video and muting, and Isa is going to introduce us.
Well, welcome everyone to Mindfulness Movement and Meals webinar, a whole approach to improving your health. Let me introduce our hostess tonight in order of presentation. We have first Christina Moore. You will learn how to practice mindfulness and gratitude. You will participate in a brief guided meditation that you can use next time you're feeling stressed or anxious. Christina is a freelance e-learning developer and instructional designer with a background in graphic design and photography. She became interested in mindfulness and meditation when struggling with insomnia and stress. Second, we have Isaura Ramirez Brenes. Isaura will demonstrate the importance of exercise. You will participate in a quick workout. You will be able to use the routine no matter what you're wearing or where you are. Isa is currently enrolled in the MAG Learning Design and Implementation program at CU Denver. She works at Tech Digital, the online platform at the Technological Institute of Costa Rica, as a visual communicator. She became interested in running and changed her lifestyle to improve physical health by joining a running team. And third, we have Holly Abels. Holly will share a few of her favorite recipes. You will learn about the importance of macronutrients and some basic cooking techniques. Holly is currently enrolled in the MA Instructional Design and Adult Learning program at CU Denver. She is currently an academic program manager in cardiology at University of Colorado School of Medicine, and she became interested in health and fitness a few years ago and has adopted a healthy lifestyle, which resulted in gain, strength and confidence, and the loss of 22 pounds. Some tips for this webinar. Please open your handout. If you needed to download it, there's a link in the chat. It will be right away. Mute your microphone, turn off your video camera for now, and please save your questions for the end. We will have plenty of time. And now we'll begin with Christina.
Hey, all right. Welcome to my portion of the webinar on mindfulness. I want to welcome to the first segment of our presentation, mindfulness. We will be discussing what mindfulness means, some handy tips for practicing meditation and mindfulness, and you'll be participating in a 5-minute guided meditation that you can use going forward. So what exactly does mindfulness mean? In its most basic definition, it means to be in the present moment. It's surprisingly difficult to remain in the present. Our thoughts tend to skitter about with very little peace and quiet. There are many ways to practice mindfulness, whether you are using a simple gratitude journal, listening wholeheartedly, or meditating. You are connecting with your own thoughts and learning to control them. You can do any of your favorite activities and practice mindfulness or being in the present moment. This could include going for a walk, cooking your dinner, volunteering, or even dancing. And now I'm going to take a quick poll. Let's see. I am going to launch a poll, and I'm going to ask you guys, what is your favorite healthy way to deal with stress? Emphasis on the healthy part, please. And I'll read out our poll results when it looks like quite a few people choose exercise. Good. Okay, so we've got about 50% saying exercise, 25% spending time in nature, 17% reading, 17% journaling, 8% reading, and none other. Okay, I was going to ask you guys what your favorite other ways were, but that's fine. That's totally fine. Okay. All right. Close that. All right. All right. So now I'd like to share with you my favorite apps for mindfulness. The first is called a gratitude journal called 5 Minute Journal. It's only $4.99, and I use it twice a day. You can choose how detailed to make it and whether or not you want reminders. I start every day by listing 3 things that I'm grateful for. Usually throughout the day, I will add a photo of something I noticed of beauty. And then before bed, I journal 3 amazing things that happened today. By taking a little time and writing down the things that you're grateful for, you really put your life into perspective. It forces you to appreciate what you have rather than focus on the stress in your life. The second app that I'm a huge fan of is called Calm. This one's more expensive, but you get a lot more out of it. I discovered it while searching for resources for insomnia, and it costs $12.99 a month, but for me, it's worth every penny. There's a variety of meditation themes and programs, including sleep, stress, relationships, and personal growth. There's even one for college students. You can customize your background sounds to whatever you find the most soothing. I really like the rain on leaves and the fireplace themes. So it's like an ambient video in the background with that beautiful fire crackling sound or rain sound. The sleep stories are my absolute favorite part, though. If you're struggling with insomnia like I do, it's you choose the theme of the story that night and the story. So I always choose like a nature theme because that's what I like to hear as I'm going to sleep instead of a mystery. And a professional narrator reads you to sleep, and their voice gets softer and slower over about 20 minutes until you just fall asleep. It's amazing. Calm has breathing exercises, music, and nature sounds available, and I just can't recommend it enough. Next, I would like to discuss meditation specifically. After only 1 month of meditation for 10 minutes a day, you will experience a wide range of possible health benefits, including decreased stress, increased self-esteem, increased self-control, improved cognition, and improved focus. Meditation is incredibly versatile and accessible. There are a lot of ways to practice. You can meditate anywhere at any time, at work, in nature, or in the privacy of your own home, seated in a chair or on a mat, or even laying down. You can have your eyes open or closed, and you can do it for as short or as long as you want. It's totally up to you. I personally choose to meditate regularly at home in the morning, first thing, or when I'm about to go to sleep. And I almost always do it with my eyes open. So now we're going to take the next 5 minutes and I'll guide you on a simple body scan meditation. Since this webinar is being recorded, if you haven't already, please feel free to stop your video sharing for your own privacy during this exercise. Normally, like I said before, I meditate with my eyes open, but for this meditation, you'll be closing your eyes so that we can really tune into how our body is feeling. You'll want to be in a comfortable seated position in a chair with your feet on the ground and no distractions. So let's begin. All right, so sitting in a comfortable seated position, you want to have a straight back. Rest your hands on your legs and allow your shoulders to relax. Gently close your eyes. I want you to begin with a few deep, slow breaths. Breathe in through your nose to the count of 4. Hold for the count of 2. And breathe out through your mouth to the count of 6, making a sighing noise. Breathe deeply. In through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2. Out through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In hold, out. You're just going to continue at your own pace for several more breaths. Gradually, you're softening into your pose and slowly breathe at your own relaxed pace. I want you to now turn your thoughts gently to the sensations in your body. Bring your attention to your feet. Wiggle your toes, relaxing any tension there. Now bring your focus to your legs. Just noticing any sensations that arise. Moving now on up to the hips. If you notice any tensions arising, just direct your breath to that area and allow it to relax. Notice your abdomen, feeling the rise and fall of your breath. Moving on up to the chest. Feeling your lungs fill with air and then release. And now to the neck. In and out. On up to the jaw and the tongue. Release and soften. And now finally to your eyes and your scalp. Letting go of any tension. Just enjoy this relaxed sensation. In and out. And when you are ready, bring your attention back to this present moment. Thank yourself for allowing a peaceful moment in your day, and slowly open your eyes. All right, so that was only 5 minutes long, and it's really useful for when you're feeling anxiety or stress. I found it especially useful at work and when I'm feeling physical stress or pain. You can do it in your car while you're parked, of course, on the plane or the bus or anywhere really, even in front of your kids if they're stressing you out. If you learn to do it with your eyes open, no one's even going to know you're doing it. So the next time you're about to have that stressful business meeting, say you're talking about a promotion or something or whatever the case may be, take 5 minutes for yourself and do a quick body check meditation to center yourself.
Okay, welcome to this second section called movement. I will begin by defining what is movement. Movement is defined as an act of moving, especially change of place or position or posture. As you're using your body when moving, that means that you do a physical activity. But what is physical activity? According to the World Health Organization, physical activity is any bodily movement produced by skeletal muscles that requires energy, including activities undertaken while working, playing, carrying out household chores, traveling, and engaging in recreational pursuits. Meaning that to improve your physical activity, you have to begin to move around more. And according to the WHO, you need to do at least 30 minutes of physical activity a day or do 6,000 steps a day. In average, we spend 9 hours a day sitting at our office or at home. In addition to that, a lot of people eat at their desk and do everything in the desk and drive from one place to another, so you're still sitting. But the worst is that we have a terrible way of sitting, damaging our body even more. So how to increase our physical activity? As I said, we have to begin move around. If you work in a building with stairs, use them instead of the lift. If the building is too high, begin with getting down to floors below so you can move more. At lunchtime, get up off your desk and eat in another hall or at the eating place. If you're working at home, divide your work zone from your eating zone and your resting zone. This way you will increase your movement. And every hour, no matter where you are, stand up off your chair and take a walk around the office or your house. You can also take advantage of the technology. Nowadays, there's a lot of help outside, and you can find apps like this one. It's called 7 Minutes Workouts. It only takes 7 minutes to do a workout. It will provide you with routines, and it will show you how to do it. Another app is Fantastic Steps, that it will show you how many minutes you were active in your entire day. It will show you a chart on steps made, and you can set up a working challenge depending on your objective. You only have to carry out your cell phone always with you. You can also set up your alarms and your smartwatches. A lot of companies like Garmin, Polar, and even iWatch have this feature. It's actually an alert that you can set on that lets you know when you can move. Next one. When it's time to move, and the watch will keep buzzing or making a sound until you move. So use it and move it. But what kind exactly of workouts can we do? If you go to your handouts on page 6, under the title websites, you will see the title that says Workouts at Work. This is the handout is on the chat in case you don't have it open.
I put it in the chat too.
Yeah, it's in the chat. This is an example of that link of that Workouts at Work. It's an animated site that it will show you the pros and cons of doing different exercises, the level of difficulty, and the animation of how to do it. Is everyone watching? Yay! Did you see it now? If you're wondering what to do, we're going to do an activity. So if you please turn on your video and your sound so I can see you and you can see me to do this little activity. Hey everyone, so we can see our faces. We're going to do 2 workouts. One for our upper body and the other one for our legs. Can anyone see me? Yeah, everyone can see me? Yes, excellent. So we're gonna first place our arms in a 90-degree angle. Everyone, come on, I want to say excellent, very good. And we're going to move them up slowly. The movement has to be naturally, it cannot be forced. You inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And when you're exhaling, you're moving. So it goes like this. Breathe. 2. Let's do 10. And I want to hear you. Come on. 3. I can hear you. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9.
I should have played music.
10. Very good. Do you feel your arms like warm? Yeah? Good. If you haven't done any movement, you did it. And now we're going to stand up. And you're going to stand up straight. Don't worry. And we're going to lift our knee. You have to, your legs have to be the same position as your shoulders. And we're going to lift our knee like this. 1, and now the other one. 2, 3, very good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, people, very good. You see, it's really easy. If you can do it at work, you can do it at home. And you do the movement of the day. Very good. We will continue. So remember.
Oops, sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry. Yeah, we did the move part. Remember that as you increase your physical activity, your body will produce endorphins, which make you happy and everyone happy. Endorphins will improve your overall mood. Exercise has been shown that to be more effective in treating depression better than medication. And I have a last question for you. After all that I said, what can you do to increase your physical activity? Or what are you doing actually to increase your physical activity? You can unmute your...
You want that in the chat or a discussion?
I know, like a little discussion. I want to hear you.
Well, I walk my dog every day.
Very good. That's a really good option.
I sign up for Orange Theory classes and I have to go or else they make me pay.
Okay. Lindsay says, I'm taking walks with my baby on the stroller. Really good. That's a really good. Definitely walking pets. That's the best. How is Orange Theory?
In Denver, I take light rail and it doesn't actually let me off close to home or to the office. So it forces me to walk on both sides.
Very good. Kevin says, I move around with my classroom to answer questions from... Very good. That's a really good movement during the day. Very good. Anyone else that wants to share?
You know, when I was living in Denver, I took the light rail too, and I made sure I would stand during my ride. My ride was 29 minutes, and I just made sure I would stand. And half the time, I'd try to not hold on and use my core.
Yeah, that's a really good... Yeah,
so it wasn't even much. It was just not sitting.
I will fall over standing on the how do you call it? A lot of people. I've heard that some people get down the bus like one station before their work, so they do the walking to there. So that's a really good choice too. Option, I mean. Very good.
Isa, I joined my gym on campus, and so I go every lunch break. I go to a gym class, whether it's Pilates or yoga or like today body pump, so I'm dead.
Yeah, I do that too. In my lunch break, I go to the gym. Well, I go to the gym, or I go to dance classes, or I go to run 3 times a week. So, yeah, very good.
I always park as far away from wherever I'm going as possible. So if I'm going to the grocery store, for example, I don't take the first spot I see. I go to the end of the lot.
Very good. That's a really good option too. Very good, people. Keep moving.
Okay.
I went to Costa Rica and run with you. Isa, come on, Michelle. You can come whenever you want.
We're already planning.
Yeah.
Everyone is invited. But not all at the same time, please.
Okay, guys, let's talk about nutrition or meals to keep with the M theme here. So I'm Holly, and we're going to talk about meals in this section. As a disclaimer, no, I'm not a nutritionist, but I've researched and practiced healthy eating for the past year and a half or so with some good success. So today I'm going to cover some basics about nutrition and give you guys some tips, and I'm going to ask you to share your tips and recipes with the group at the end. So be thinking about those, please. So where do we start? If you're like me, you've read a lot about nutrition and quote unquote healthy eating, but find such a plethora of information out there that it's really hard to decide where to begin. And you definitely can't begin when you come home hungry after a long day of work, like right now, for example. So first, let's start with a poll. I want to find out what kind of diets, nutrition plans, or just basically what buzzwords that you associate with healthy foods. So I'm going to launch that now. Go ahead and take that.
So if you guys could participate in the poll, and
There we go. Thank you. Got some coming in now. All right, good. So everybody's participated. I'm going to go ahead and share that with you so you can see it. It looks like, I'm curious what the others are. If you guys wanted to give a shout out or type in the chat, the 5 of you who put other, but the majority, you know, are reporting vegetarian, just basically being on a diet.
I put other, and it's mostly because I think of sort of clean eating and, you know, non-processed foods, good fruits and vegetables, healthy proteins, healthy fats, things like that, rather than, you know, calling it out as vegetarian or paleo or whatever.
Right. So
kind of keeping it clean.
Yeah, clean or whole foods type.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
John says it's just the food I eat. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I wrote it, I typed it in the chat. This is Lindsay. But for other, I mean, kind of vegetarian, but mainly just a variety of vegetables, a much higher number of plant cells than animal cells. So not necessarily vegetarian, but real pushing on the vegetables.
Right, more plant-based approach.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's trending right now. It's all over Instagram and Facebook and all of the very popular food places that I follow, and it's for a good reason. So that brings me to basically what our food actually is. I think, well, you know, in our food-dominated culture, I wanted to just say that part of the reason why this is so challenging is because our culture is all about food. Like birthday parties, we go and there's a giant cake in front of us. Mother's Day is about brunches. Father's Day and 4th of July, it's about the barbecue. So we're just in a very food-dominated culture. But I think if we step back and think about food for what it really is, fuel for our bodies, perhaps we can appreciate it and think more about what we fuel our body with. So basically there's 4 macronutrients that foods are made out of. I added water just because it's so important, but proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and water. So protein, why do we need it? It's involved in muscle repair, it increases metabolism, and it regulates our appetite. What kind should we eat? If you eat animal protein, then do the lean versions, which is chicken or fish, turkey or pork tenderloin. But if you're more in the plant-based diet, think black beans, lima beans, chickpeas, edamame, tofu, nuts, lentils, or quinoa. Those are all very high protein plant-based foods. How much do we need? We need 10 to 35% of our daily diet to be with protein. The next macronutrient are carbohydrates. And while we tend to think of the carbs as the first photo, bunch of processed breads or pastas or white rice, the second photo is actually all carbohydrates too. Carbohydrates have a bad rep because we tend to eat too many in our culture, and the excess is stored in the body as fat. Why do we need them? Short and simple, carbs equals energy. Carbohydrates are broken down to release glucose in our body. So we need to focus on which kinds to eat rather than not eating them at all. So the kinds that we need to focus on are the complex carbs, and they have long sugar chains that contain fiber. They're slowly digested and converted to glucose for energy. They give the body sustained energy, and they're found in whole grains, fruits, vegetables, beans, peas, lentils, and nuts. We want to limit the simple carbohydrates, which have short sugar chains and no fiber, which means they're quickly digested and converted to glucose, which means our blood sugar goes up very quickly, but also drops very quickly. These simple carbs are found in processed breads, pastas, white rice, chips, soda, candy, pastries, and cake, all the good stuff. How much do we need? 45 to 65% of our diet. The third macronutrient are fats or lipids. Why do we need it? They're essential for brain function and neural health. What kind should we eat? Focus on plant-based here again. These contain oleic acid, antioxidants, anti-inflammatories. They reduce the risk of heart attack, stroke, and cancer. These are found in nuts, avocados, which I love, and extra virgin olive oil. Limit your animal-based fats because they're full of saturated fats and are associated with cardiovascular disease and high cholesterol. These are found in steak, bacon, sausage, and eggs. And while I love those things, just keep them to a minimum. We should eat 20% of fats in our diet every day. Lastly, I included water because it's so important. We need it because our bodies are made up of 60% water, which we lose on a daily basis through urine and sweat. Drinking water energizes our muscles, restores our fluid electrolyte balance, improves brain function, flushes toxins from the kidneys, suppresses our appetite. And a fun fact, drinking a cup of cold water burns 7 calories per cup because our body has to warm it back up. How much do we need? We need about 2 liters a day, or 8 8-ounce glasses a day. So 64 ounces is the typical amount. So yeah, there's an app for that. Here's some good apps I've found for healthy eating. Mealime, I use the free version, though you can pay for it. But it gives you meal plans based on your own eating preference, whether that's low carb or paleo, vegetarian, flexitarian, which is also a nice way to say easy on the meat. It supplies you a grocery list, so it makes your grocery shopping easy. And I might unlock it later for more recipe access, but so far it's really served my family well. I've used it for about 3 or 4 months. Eat This Much is also a free app out there. It also asks for your dietary preference and automatically calculates your suggested calorie intake and macronutrient amounts. Clean Meals is a paid service for $9.99 a month, and it offers very similar things, but an expanded recipe list. So if you get bored with the free ones, then I suggest Clean Meals because it offers a good amount of healthy meals. There's also an app for water intake reminders. Since we need so much water, a day. Sometimes it's good to be reminded. There's the free Daily Water app or Waterlogged app, and you can set them to remind you to drink 64 ounces or whatever it calculates for your height and weight. If you have money to spend, you can buy this Hydrate Spark fancy water bottle, which my friend has, and it lights up to 6 times a day to remind you to drink water. So here's some of my best tips that I have found. My biggest one is to prepare. If you prepare healthy meals on the weekends, then you're set up for success all week. Some of my favorite things to make in advance come in jars. So I say embrace those mason jars. Overnight oatmeal, which I enjoyed this morning. Chia seed pudding, which my kids like too. Greek yogurt layered with coconut flakes and chia seeds and frozen berries is another good one. And then they're just ready to grab and go in the morning on my way to work. I also like to make a batch of whole wheat or almond flour muffins on the weekends, so I've got snacks to take to work. I suggest pre-chopping your fruits and vegetables to grab and go, and I like to bring those with a thing of hummus or guacamole to dip in. Small frequent meals. If you eat 4 to 5 meals a day, it keeps your metabolism active, controls blood sugar crashes, and keeps you feeling satisfied. So I generally eat 4 small meals a day, an early breakfast about 6:30 in the morning, another breakfast at 10 a.m. Yeah, I'm a hobbit. It's fine. Lunch at 1 o'clock after my lunch break workout, and then dinner around 6. And then lastly, I say cheat a little. Give yourself a break once in a while. There's no need to be so restrictive that your healthy eating becomes unbearable. So if you enjoy wine, allow yourself a glass of wine a few nights a week. If you want some dark chocolate, indulge a couple of times a week. The key is balance and attainability. Sorry. Oops. So this slide, that's okay. This slide is, the point of this slide is that meal prep doesn't have to take long. And yes, I've time-lapsed to myself making overnight oats. My 10-year-old graciously filmed this standing on a chair. You can see her toes. But this was my meal prep for this week, and I've enjoyed it all week long. This is apple cinnamon overnight oats, and I share the recipe at the end. So here are some of my healthy recipes. These are all linked in the handouts. I love overnight oats. They're super simple. They're really good for you, and they help keep you satisfied. So lemon blueberry overnight oats are fantastic. So are those apple cinnamon ones I made this week. Banana peanut butter overnight oats are fantastic. I share the Tone It Up Blondie muffin recipe, and that is a flour-free recipe, and it's made with garbanzo beans. I know that sounds gross, but they're really delicious, and my kids liked them until I told them they had garbanzo beans. So don't tell them what's in it. Pumpkin chocolate chip muffins and apple cinnamon chia seed pudding are also recipes that I share. And then these are 3 books that I own, and I really like all of them. So these are all on page 5 of your handout. So I would like you guys to utilize chat and or just turn on your video and talk to me in person, but I would like you guys to share with the group some of your healthy snack ideas or recipe ideas and food prep ideas so that you are well prepared for the week.
Well, I like to make my whole week amount of recipes and only go to the grocery store once and stick to the list. I'm not allowed to buy anything that's not on the list.
Definitely stick to the list.
Yeah, I like to stick to the list too, and I like to do smoothies because my daughter likes to drink them, so we're doing healthy smoothies with light milk.
I go camping a lot on the weekends, especially now that it's getting nicer out here in Colorado. And when we go out with a lot of people, it's fun to coordinate on recipes just because you hear more stuff. But it's also nice because then you end up with less food waste, because a lot of people, when they get together tend to be like, oh, I want to bring this and this and this, and that's fine. But part of, I think, this good wellness is also not being wasteful. So I think it's nice when you get together with groups and stuff to be able to like share and collaborate, but then also prepare ahead. So you can like have good meals, but also not end up with too much waste at the end for the bears.
Yeah, good point. I love the idea to buy food prep containers at Amazon, and they do have quite a bit. I actually want to buy a bunch of the glass ones, Shina. I don't know if you've seen them. They've got those partitions. So you can have your main, which should be vegetables, and then your two sides, one should be protein. Yeah, that's a great tip. Yeah, I love having hummus and veggies for dipping as well, Lindsay. Also, I was like a purist when it came to guacamole. But this semester's been so busy, I started buying those holy guacamoles at Costco, and those are great too. And you can freeze them and take them out. And that hummus I freeze, and I take it out once a week for as much as I need a week.
That's great. I used to make my own hummus when I had more time, and then I could use like black beans.
It's delicious.
I'll share my recipe when we post this.
Awesome.
Great. So any other prep tips or favorite recipes or healthy snacks to bring at my desk? Palisade peaches are yum.
Yeah.
Yeah, apples. What is this? Oh, energy bites. Yeah, I've got a lot of recipes for these, and a lot of them are using figs and dates. Dates actually is the binder and the sweetener.
Mm-hmm.
I like to eat granola and yogurt, or I like to freeze the grapes or the strawberries, and then at night when I'm feeling anxious, eat them.
I made ice cream over the weekend, and it had frozen bananas, a half of an avocado, almond milk, dark chocolate chips, and mint extract. It was mint chocolate chip ice cream.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
they were the winner.
You can also freeze grapes as a ice cube substitute to chill wine faster. Just saying.
I like
I like to eat.
Oh my gosh.
It's just, it almost tastes like having. It's a great dessert. It's almost like having ice cream, but not. I mean, they're surprisingly good. I mean, you don't really do anything. You just wash them and pop them in the freezer. And
Mm-hmm.
Yum.
Yay.
All right.
right.
Well, I will type up some of these and send these to you guys in Canvas afterwards. Are there any questions that we can address, or do you guys have anything you want to talk about all of wellness?
No? Well, thank you so much for those, getting us up and moving. That was I did a small course on, actually it was more on secondhand smoke, but it kind of went into moving and how sitting is the new smoking, and how not moving because we're sitting at our desks is really causing a lot of heart disease and a lot of issues from not moving around.
It is. And a lot of companies are adopting this kind of hour break, and the computers like shut off for 5 minutes so employers can stand up and walk around and talk and go whatever they do, because we're sitting too much and we're not doing any movement at all. So
Actually, CU does this as well. Joni, you might, I don't know if the Denver campus does it, but we've got a MOVE program, and they incentivize movement. And if you work out 30 minutes a day for 12 times a month, you get $50 in your paycheck every 3 months. So, they pay us to work out.
Yeah, hang on. I don't think anyone does that. That is not equitable. That's not right.
I'll email you the information.
That's awesome. So we've got a survey here for if you would be so kind.
It's in the chat.
It's in the chat. Just to see how that we did, and we won't publicize the results right now. So you can just click on that link and take it at your leisure, and we'll get the results. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, thank you so much for participating in our webinar, and we hope that you'll find great value in that handout, and enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Everyone,
Thank you.
be well.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye. Okay, let's see. Pause, stop recording, and end.